What's going on, everyone? Nick from Comic Culture here. I have The Art of Arthur Adams, a brand new Kickstarter that just got delivered a couple of days ago. I thought we would go through it. I flipped through it really quickly. I flagged some pages. I wanted to show you guys some of the amazing artwork inside of here. So this was a Kickstarter. It just got delivered, like I said, a few days ago. And man, I'm having such a good time flipping through it. I thought I'd go ahead and share it with y'all just to show you what is going on. This little autograph right there. Nice little opening page. Little self-portrait perhaps right there. And right off the bat, we're getting these giant, almost like collage pieces here. Just a bunch of different things that he's done. And yeah, it looks really, really cool. Opening up with a great little Wolverine running at you shot right here. We're going to see this cover a little bit later inside the book, but it's a cool big shocking page to open up to, which I think is pretty cool. We have edited by John on here as well, and we're going to get a little introduction from him in the first couple of pages here. Some pretty cool things, goes over a lot of his early work, some of his inspirations and whatnot, and of course we're going to see some of that as we flip through. Really awesome picture right here of this Venom cover. What a crazy, remarkable thing that is. But we can dive right into it. So I'm going to be flipping through this, but I do have some pages flagged. But I wanted to show you what's going on inside here. Just some absolutely amazing work. So we typically, what we're going to see is we're going to see a smaller picture on the one side. It could be a cover, could be some roughs, some pencils, some concept art. We're going to see a more finished product over here on the actual pages, and we're going to have a little description of what he was going through, his thoughts about the piece, maybe some of the history about how he got into that and whatnot. So yeah, we're going to be going through over here. So I did flag this piece because there's a cool story about Ann Nocenti over here, basically calling her the super editor, and he actually did this piece for her because they had such a great relationship. She passed along a lot of work to him for certain covers. Even when he wasn't doing interiors, she actually asked him to do a couple of the covers for some of the books. So back in 1983, he did a little super editor gift drawing for her, which I thought was pretty funny. And yeah, that pose is pretty classic. And I think we're going to see some covers maybe featuring something very similar to that coming up very soon. Man, we get that awesome Marvel team up right here. May 1984. That's Marvel Team Up 144. We got the cover pencils over here. Also some notes. It says Spider-Man's arm and web line in front of logo. So you can imagine that logo going right here. So man, this is just so cool to see this. Of course, we have Daredevil and Black Widow over there as well. I think Mike Mignola actually touched this piece as well. So that's pretty cool to see. We got some Longshot back from 1983, 1985. Just great work over here. And then, of course, we're going to see some more of this Wolverine type stuff. He was actually saying that he didn't really resonate with X-Men at the time when he was putting this together, especially even Wolverine. He just couldn't find anything to identify with when he's looking at Wolverine. He just wanted something that he can pull from, but X-Men wasn't in his DNA, he says over here. So he had to kind of pull that out a little bit to make it work. And you can see this other iteration right here of this cover, and then you can see how it translated over, kind of claws out and not claws out over here. Of course, a little bit differences in the actual characters and their positioning and things like that, but you get the idea. And I love the little edit right here. It says, "I hate the little box." And it has his autograph in there as well. So pretty cool thing to see, like the evolution or transition from one sketch to the other. Of course, we get some fake little Thor stuff going on here. X-Men Annual number 9, inked by Walt Simonson. This was another Ann Nocenti ask, saying Chris Claremont was the editor of X-Men at the time, and Chris was like, "Hey Arthur, can you do my book that I have coming up?" And man, how do you say no to that? Pretty cool stuff right there. That's 1985. Of course, we're going to see some other things as well. We're going to see some X stuff. We're going to see some Batman coming up very soon with a little crossover with Predator, and we're going to see some other indie works as well. Even Gumby, the Summer Fun Special #1 cover, July 1987. I think he even says in here, I'm not particularly a Gumby fan. I enjoyed it when I was young, but it wasn't large in my life, so I think that's pretty funny. Even stylized Gumby, man, look how cool that looks. Very, very cool. 1987. Of course, here we're getting to get some Batman and Superman things here. This is for the comics, or Action Comics Annual #1, and he was actually saying that this actually came out a little bit after Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, and he never really nailed Superman's look or Batman's look. He kind of liked the way it turned out, but there's some things that he would have changed for sure. And of course, after Frank Miller's run, like, the whole look and feel of that character changed so drastically that, you know, he felt okay at the time, but he never quite nailed the characters, and he was kind of describing that a little bit in here as well. Even going as far as saying he could do better now if he had to try this piece again, which I totally believe. Of course, we get some Wonder Woman in here. A lot of other stuff. So Appleseed as well. This is 1989 Eclipse Comics. This is volume 2. I personally just got into Appleseed recently, some Ghost in the Shell as well. And I think this is pretty cool. It says I would fully pencil and ink them, and then I would make a Xerox copy of the line art. Then he also goes on to saying coloring was a learning experience. I mostly learned I needed to work a lot more at it to be any good at it, but he just likes black and white. He was more comfortable with it. I really enjoy black and white art myself. I think some of the coloring can almost ruin it, but I also prefer the artists to color their own work most of the time, because having that one unified vision is a pretty good thing, and the result usually speaks for itself. Of course, we got some cool crackle going on over there. His own little style. A lot of hatching, a lot of shading, and we're going to see a lot of that in these next coming pages. I think it's really cool. This is that Asgardian War trade paperback cover from Marvel 1989. Some Fantastic Four covers coming up next. He was even talking about, he didn't remember where this Zipatone came from underneath the Hulk's foot, and he thinks that somebody else put it on there. I think Art Tybert did that, and that's pretty funny. That's Fantastic Four 348. And this is actually a really cool piece. This is a How to Draw Comics the Arthur Adams Way from 1981. Actually features this kid right here. He's actually at a drawing table trying to do his own stuff, but this disembodied voice kind of comes out of nowhere saying, "Hey young man, do you want to draw comic books for a living and draw like your favorite artist, Arthur Adams?" And the kid's like, of course I want to do that. He's like, "Well, I got the great tip for you. Pull out your tracing paper and just trace all of his famous works and just call it your own." And so obviously a little bit of a commentary there about maybe the state of comics back then. Maybe he's seeing a lot of people kind of ripping off his style. I thought it was pretty funny that he did a 2-page spread going over all of that. So that was pretty cool. I like that. Of course, we get some Conan action in here as well. Some pretty cool stuff. We got some more Fantastic Four over here. Of course, we have the Different Team back in 1992. This is the new Fantastic Four Monsters Unleashed trade paperback. Awesome Godzilla stuff in here. This is where you're going to see his style kind of shifting towards, I think, in the later half of this book. A lot more of this kinds of shading and hatching over here to give you that like shadow from the light perspective. And I'm all about that. This is 1992. We get some Vampirella in here as well, with Vampirella Summer Nights cover from Dark Horse 1992. Again, some of that little Zipatone in there. This is that Batman Predator cover I was talking about. This is the pinup, and from Dark Horse 1992. I got to go back and see if I can actually find this and check that out. This looks like a pretty cool read right here. Of course, we get some more Godzilla and some more Predator, some Alien even in there. That's really cool stuff. He has such a cool art style because like he can do the big brawny muscular guys. He can do those like action shots too, really kinetic things, people flying around. He can do pose as well. He can draw women really well. It's just kind of crazy, like the style that he has and the range of his art, you know what I mean? So this is almost like a Santa, I guess, and all these heroes are busting out of the bag. Yeah, this is the Marvel Holiday Special cover from January 1993. All these little presents, they're like named as well. So it's like for Mikey, for Johnny, for Art Adams. Little Art Adams, I guess, in there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, a lot going on that page. This is Showcase 93 #1. Inked by Terry Austin. He's actually got a roll call over here too, all the different characters that he has to include in there, and he's checking them off, and there's an optional set of names as well. So it's like, yep, Flash, yep, got him. Creeper, yeah, sure, we'll put Creeper in there. So he actually threw him in there. That's pretty cool. I guess that's one way to get your assignment. Creatures from the Black Lagoon #1. Again, inked by Terry Austin. Very cool, man. Look at that. That's remarkable. course, we get some Death Gallery #1 from January '94. This is cool. This is the Madman X 50 bubblegum trading card art from Dark Horse 1994. That's really cool. He was actually trading pinups with Mike Allred. There's your Madman tie-in right there. Of course, you get Death kind of over all these dinosaurs saying, "Uh-oh." That's pretty funny. Ooh, some Star Wars. It says my first professional Star Wars piece, and it's a funny one. I did a cover and sent it to Dark Horse. They got back to me and said Lucasfilm was not happy because it looks too much like manga. That's hilarious. I can see that pose, that face. I could definitely see that in Luke right there. And it's very visual too. Hellboy Seed of Destruction, page 1, 1994. Interesting. Monkey Man and O'Brien. I love his, man, again, just his use of Zipatone over here. Very cool. Oblivion #1 from Comico 1995. Some crazy figures in here. Again, look at all that crackle. So cool. This is always interesting. I love this right here. It's like these beams or lasers or something. They're kind of darting around. It's just so cool, that perspective, how it widens out like that. That is so cool to see that. Very clean. Man. More collage shots. This is Wildstorm Universe 97 from December 96. Man, that's a lot of people. This is one where they did send me reference on absolutely everything because there are a ton of characters. I actually have forgotten all of the characters that are here. That's funny. I never understood how they can compose an image like this. It's actually incredible. Like, where do you even start with something like this? Do you start with one character, draw them all out, and then you just put somebody else in there, and then just layer, 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 layer? You know what I mean? Like, I can't even wrap my head around how artists even do that kind of a thing. Some Gen 13. Does monsters really well. Dinosaurs, dragons, creatures of the Black Lagoon, Godzilla. Has this like scaling effect, which is really cool. And these scales right here and how he handles the light and everything really translates well when he does like vines on trees and everything. We're going to see a little bit more of that coming up in a little bit. But a lot of those things are transferable, I guess. Clerks Holiday special cover. This is from Oni Press from 1998. It was really funny because he said he hadn't actually seen Clerks, didn't know who Jay and Silent Bob were. Doesn't even recall seeing the movie, and yet, you know, here we are focused or showcased right there. Crimson #2. We're on the other side here. Now we get some Buffy. Another cool story about this one right here. He sent this in, and they came back and said, hey, listen, Buffy would never wear shoes like that. And he's like, well, I'm not changing it now. It's already in there. And the reference material, the reference shot that they gave him for Buffy had her in those kinds of shoes. And he said, well, your reference page had that, and it's already in there, so we're keeping it. So, yeah, they didn't have much to say after that, I guess. So here's what I mean. Some of the scales and stuff on his dragons or monsters like this, same kind of style up in the trees, right? In these vines over here, and the light perspective is just so cool. It's almost like you can see the light posing right about here somewhere, and it's shining, kind of washing out all these top parts. And then of course, as it wraps around the tree, as it wraps around the arm here, it gets darker and darker and darker. He has this hatching technique, and you can just see the shading all over the place. It's you see it and it's like instantly brings you to an Art Adams style. Really cool stuff. Ooh, get some Lady Death as well. Some more Wildcats on the other side over here. Again, man, that dragon. Look at all these details in this demon here. Crazy. That iconic hair, too. Does hair kind of in the same way. Here's some more Batman. I get like some TMNT vibes when I see something like this. You know what I mean? You can just imagine all the 4 turtles just sitting up here looking down. PlayStation Magazine over here. We got a bunch of different characters. That's pretty cool. Get some Street Fighter, Final Fantasy. What was that, Soul Reaper, I think? Reaver, if I'm not mistaken. And Resident Evil, maybe. Of course, we get some Danger Girl in here. This is from the early 2000s. Gate Crusher. Unfamiliar with that title. Of course, you got some Creature from the Black Lagoon looking stuff going on. Now we're in 2001 with some Superman number 165. Little race there with Flash. Get to see some early pencils, and then over here. I like that. Just about 9 p.m. just started to snow, and you can see a little snow coming down over here. Pretty cool. Of course, we're going to dip into some Authority. Really cool to kind of see the they're like lightly inked, right? Not fully, kind of like penciled in a way. It's from early 2002. Here's a sampler cover over here and some Savage Dragon. Again, I go back to the scales. So cool. And the amount of ink it would take just to do all this right here. Crazy. From Thundercats number 1 and the source book cover from 2003. Tom Strong's Terrific Tales number 2. Again, just a collage of characters. Jeez. Then you can kind of see how he goes outside the borders over here. And so you can see a little bit of the rough draft, right? The blue lines and whatnot, with just like a little bit of tracing over there, and then what it actually equates to. Obviously so much more detail, but even this looks great over here, but you can see kind of where it gets cut off a little bit, and then how it translates over here after he puts the finishing touches on there. The Many Worlds of Tesla Strong number 1. This is July 2003. Wow, very cool. Definitely got like a Silver Surfer vibe to it. Of course, you got like the cosmic background. A lot of different character variations in here. Several of which I think we're going to see. We either have seen or will see later in this book. JLA Scary Monsters number 1 from 2003. Again, a cool compilation shot. Lots of different monsters, tentacles, arms, claws, reaching out, wings, things like that. Wow, that's really cool. I don't remember seeing that in the first flip through. And of course, we get some personal work over here. Just some sampler stuff. I love that piece. This is really neat. Some more sampler and personal work. I think he was saying he actually developed a story around these characters right here, but it was just so... He said it was pretty ambitious. Never really got around to doing anything there. Just cooking up a story, getting some origins, getting some ideas where he might want to take these characters, but just too ambitious. Never really got around to doing it. I think that would be pretty awesome, though. Action Comics 821 cover, an unfinished first attempt over at DC. That's cool. Get some parademons in the background over here. Very neat. I mean, look at those. I guess it's like dust or whatever kicked up from the battle itself, but you can just see, you take one look at those clouds and it's like undeniable who you're looking at. This is a great piece over here. He liked this one as well. He said it was a fun monster to draw. It's almost like a gorilla inside of just has the space helmet on, but it looks like it's just a skull inside of there, and whoever this, lady astronaut is, came across this weird monkey in space. That was pretty funny. Yeah, he liked the way that he drew that. Some more Vampirilla work, some Red Sonja over here. Kind of like slaying the big dragon or whatever that is. That's from Dynamite 2005. Another sampler. Some like witch or something like that. I don't really know. It's from his personal sketchbook. One of my personal sketchbook covers. Interesting. Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Oh, it's a twist on Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Poor dwarves are pretty horrible looking on there. Yeah, I guess so. Cool. Another great one. Here's that checklist again of all the different characters for Marvel. That's pretty cool. Classic Avengers cover, issue number 1, 2007. And then Avengers Classic number 11. Said it was kind of a rip on the Jack Kirby Avengers 11 cover from 1964. Yeah. This is Hulk number 9 from 2009. I think he said he didn't like the way that he drew She-Hulk in here. Could have done a better job. And he enjoyed drawing Tigra. You can see he had some fun with that over here. But not too happy with his She-Hulk. I think he said he could do a little bit better of a job nowadays. I've always loved this Ultimate X number 1 with the claws cover. Like that high school cover. I love that cover right there. So cool. I need to try to get that one day. And this is beautiful over here too with that, again, that perspective of light that he has. Just really incredible what he's able to pull off with that. You could just imagine that flash of lightning kind of creating this shadow over here. Some more Godzilla Legends covers from 2011. Some gnarly monsters and stuff. Warlord of Mars, number 5. Fear Itself, The Fearless. Wow, that's really cool. It says he recently saw the Silent Hill movie and was pretty influenced by that when he was drawing these. That's pretty funny. Yeah, some of these are like Abomination kind of characters, right? Secret Avengers and Wolverine and X-Men 36 from 2013. Wow, that's incredible. Again, these like ensemble pieces here. Very cool. Ragnarok. There's a commission. And then number 7 over here. Yeah, this is the commission on this side. This is the cover for number 7 from 2015. This piece here is only a year old. Almost 2 years old now. Hey, we get some Scooby-Doo. Some Velma. Light pencils on this side over here. Pretty cool. What is this? Guardians of the Galaxy number 12. This is from 2016. Ooh, and The Walking Dead. He did a great little run on The Walking Dead for the variant covers. Looks like it's 157 to 162. And from August 2016 to January 2017. I have a lot of these covers myself. I think he also did some of the 25th anniversary covers, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's what some of these were, or they repurposed them and made them like Virgin variants, something like that. But these are really cool, the amount of stuff in here. This is around that Whisperers run, if I'm not mistaken. At least some of these guys look like they're Whisperers for sure. Some personal work. Ooh, that looks really awesome. Little Bride of Frankenstein kind of stuff. Got some Falcon. Avengers Standoff. April 2016. Again, another ensemble piece. Got Squirrel Girl jumping in the action over here too. Crazy. Some Quicksilver, Miss Marvel. We got Kamala Khan. So many people. Man, I mean, like every single page that we've been flipping through, you could sit there and stare at it forever, just seeing what it's all about. This is X-Men Blue, 2017. I had some of these issues right here. I started collecting, you know, a little bit before this, and I remember thinking this was going to be a huge deal, right? This X-Men Blue, getting a little bit of old and a little bit of new wrapped together. And I guess it had its moments, for sure, but it's kind of cool to see all those variant covers. They did a lot of good jobs there. Let's see, we have Phantom Volume 7, Issue number 1 variant. So cool with the bubbles that turn into the tentacles there. That's really awesome. Oh, there's that Wolverine running pose. Now we got the Black Panther treatment on here. Yeah, there it is. My editor asked for something like running Wolverine, and that's what they got. Really cool. I guess these are like some little concepts right here. Yeah, he does that running pose really well. He's breaking that AR with that foot. It's pretty funny. This is a great piece right here. The Guardians of the Galaxy Mary Jane variant cover. Groot just macking on Mary Jane. That's pretty funny. October 2019. That's funny. I think he said he modeled this after one of the toys that he had laying around, and he didn't even know if they actually drew him in this style in the comics at that time or previously. But he's like, man, you know, that we're just going to do this. But he also says the toys are still not great for posing, but some are pretty good to use for like costume details and things like that. So I guess he can just use his imagination for the posing and get some of the details from the figures themselves. Oh, here's a little Return of Wolverine issue number 1, little homage to some previous work. Of course, you get that running Wolverine again, and almost that Scotty Young cute kind of format there. Very much Art Adams though, like you can still tell just by like the eyes and the poses and stuff, and even some of the clouds, just using that lighting and that hatching that we talked about before, instantly recognizable yet again. Cool little again, little Justice League piece here. This is number 40 from 2020. He says it's okay. He goes, I like the Flash on this one. I like Hawkgirl. I think overall this came out okay. This is just considered okay to him. Gotcha. I wonder if it was a composition issue right there. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he just didn't like the way that the different characters were positioned, because I think they're drawn fairly well. There's some things there that kind of stand out. Might want to see differently, but who am I? Amazing screw-on head, personal work. This is crazy. This is very reminiscent of that gorilla that we saw earlier, right? Up in the space. Very cool. This is all from May of 2020. I see some blue lines left on this one. All right, we got some Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey number 2 on this side, and then we have the Joker 80th anniversary variant. Really cool. Even the little gorillas have masks on. Get the whole Birds of Prey in the background. And the backgrounds are just crazy too. This like cityscape over here, you could have just easily put something in the back, like a clear something, right? But no, we have to have perspective, right? Like looking up, fire escapes, you know what I mean? Bricking, different styles, garage doors, all sorts of stuff. So like, man, this piece is incredible. Power lines, gutter systems, shades, air conditioners, incredible. That's nuts. Got some Ultraman. More Walking Dead Deluxe. He goes on to talk about in this one, he didn't quite know what the assignment was, and he was thinking that they just wanted more portrait kinds of things, and so he was doing a couple different examples and whatnot, and eventually he, you know, kind of settled on one style. You can see the progression. You know, he's sampling some stuff, and then he blue lines it out, then he does some pencils over the blue lines, and then we have like our inked final version over on this side. But yeah, I think that's pretty funny. Kind of like a quick recap of the whole, you know, first issue or whatever that was. And this is Strange Academy, issue number 4, came out in 2020. This is Zoe. I think it was her first appearance, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. Very cool. Very cool drawing, though. Look at that. All the snakes and everything. Her dreads, you got the candles. Wow. Of course, we have Death again. That splash of color in there. I wonder if he did the coloring in that. Then we got Future State Batman Superman issue number 1 from 2021 over on this side. I don't even remember. That was just a couple of years ago, and I don't even remember that run, to be honest with you. Oh, here's our TMNT. I knew we'd see him at some point. Torpedo Comics variant cover from IDW 21. Skybound X, man, what a crazy run that was right here. And he was even saying that Ryan Otley had insane art on the inside, just fantastic, insane art, and he had to kind of pull out his inner Jeff Darrow just to come up with some crazy stuff, just to kind of match that level of intensity. I think it's pretty cool. Much respect for Ryan Otley and Jeff Darrow. But yeah, that run was insane. So many crazy things happening in that thing. Bermuda issue number 1. I remember the coloring and the art specifically in that one. That was a really, really cool book when it came out. And he goes on to talk about how he was not happy with his character in the middle right here, having to redraw it several times and even like paste pieces over because he couldn't, I don't know, either get rid of it or something like that. But he had to redo this over and over again and still hated the way it turned out. Man, but like overcompensated with all the foliage and all that line, all those lines there. That's so cool. Then we have Masters of the Universe Revelations number 4. I think we'll be winding down here in a minute. Again, that Venom 35 Legacy 200 cover. Man, that is crazy good. Oh, we get some ASM 78. All the blue lines, it's kind of nuts to see all the prep work that goes into making sure perspective is right. Just so much goes into this. You just can't help but have so much respect for these people. Oh, we get some Shaolin Cowboy as well, speaking of Jeff Darrow. That's cool. That's Cruel to Be Kin issue number 7, the variant cover right there. Oops, some Frankenstein commissions. And then we're gonna blow this out right here. Look at that. Man. Good to get some blue lines. The Usual Nonsense, September 22. Wow. This is funny. After 57 years of revisiting 3 of my favorite subjects, being dinosaurs, very large gorillas, and drawing cute girls to my best of my ability. Nails all 3. That's funny. Oop. A little close up again. We'll unfold it this way. Wow, very cool. That's just nuts to look at, especially at this size too, because this is a little bit bigger, obviously, so we get to kind of more appreciate it more. It's not quite an artisan edition. It'd be nice if it was, but like, man, this is pretty amazing to see his work at this level of magnification. It's just so cool. And a lot of these, you get to see the blue line still. You get to see some of the pencils and whatnot, and just kind of see the concept art. Just such a cool book. I'm so glad I was able to grab this one. Again, this was on the Kickstarter. You can probably find it on like eBay and things like that. I think it was around $75 for the Kickstarter. You got some prints and everything on top of this, and some little like bookmarks and things like that for trades, because I always need those. But yeah, what an incredible collection of work, just kind of celebrating this man's legacy here, and just all the cool things that he's been able to put out over the last several decades. What a great book. If you guys are Art Adams fans, let me know down below, like some of your favorite covers and everything. Let me know how you felt about this book. If you picked it up, if you're lucky enough to be one of those that got this book, let me know down below in the comments. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little flip through of The Art of Arthur Adams. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that bell notification to be alerted when I put out a new video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all in the comments.